All right, we have some big piece of breaking news coming in. The BSF Jawan who was in Pakistan's custody has now been handed back. That is right. That is the big piece of breaking news that is coming in. BSF Jawan Purnam Kumar Shaw, who had been in the custody of Pakistani Rangers since 23rd April, was handed over to India at about 10:30 this morning through the joint checkpost in Attari in Amritsar. And we also understand that the handover was conducted peacefully and in accordance with established protocols. And that is the latest piece of breaking news that we're getting in. The BSF Jawan who had been in Pakistani Rangers custody for the last 3 weeks has now been handed over to Indian authorities at the Attari border. And I'd straight like to go across to my colleague Gursimran, who's joining me for more information. Gursimran, this is certainly a big diplomatic win for India. The BSF Jawan who was in custody of the Pakistani Rangers for these many days has now been handed back to Indian authorities. Tell us more. What is the latest that you're picking up?
Today morning at around 10:30, Purnam Kumar Shaw has been handed over back to the Indian authorities by the Pakistani Rangers. That is what the confirmation we are getting from the Punjab frontier of the BSF. They have said that the Purnam Kumar Shaw has been handed over this morning from the joint JCP, that is the integrated checkpoint in the Attari Wagah, where the Pakistani Rangers handed him over to the Indian side. It's after 22 days that he has been handed over back to the Indian side. It was 23rd, a day after the Pahalgam terror attack, that he crossed over mistakenly to the Pakistani side, and there was nothing suspicious that was found to him apart from his communication set that he had and a rifle that the BSF troops uses on borders. And he when crossed over to the Pakistani side, the Pakistan was trying to negotiate because Pakistani knew that what was coming for them. But after the Operation Sindoor, the pressure that was mounted to the Pakistan that made Pakistan to come on the knees. Now what has happened that the Pakistan has released him, which is clearly means that the mounting diplomatic pressure as well as the military pressure has forced the Pakistan to release Purnam Kumar Shaw from West Bengal, who was in the custody of the Pakistani side for more than 22 days. Now what we are learning that the senior officers, including the IG of the Punjab Frontier of Border Security Force and the DIG operations, along with the sector DIG, they are at the spot. There will be some medical legal process that will be followed, because since he has returned 22 days after being in Pakistan, some medical formalities will be completed. His checkups will be done, after which there will be a debriefing that will be done. He will also be asked about his stay in Pakistan, that how he was treated, because see, he was not a prisoner of war, so there needs to be a due process that needs to be followed from the Pakistani side as well during his stay in Pakistan, that he was treated well. Everything will be now noted down by the Border Security Force and also the sister central agencies. But a big win for the Indian side, reason being that the Pakistani soldier is back. Pakistan has sent the Indian soldier back, the BSF Jawan Purnam Kumar Shaw, and after 22 days of the Pakistan trying to negotiate on him, when the Pakistani negotiations failed, now it is that the Pakistani prisoner, the Pakistan has forced to send back the Indian soldier of the Border Security Force.
Yes. Gursimran, stay right. All right, I'm also being joined by my colleague Rakshita live from Srinagar. Rakshita, this is certainly a big diplomatic win for India. Pakistan has been brought down to its knees, and the BSF Jawan, who was in custody for so long of the Pakistani Rangers, has been brought back. What sort of conditions and negotiations do you think the Indian authorities put in front of the Pakistani authorities, Rakshita?
Well, of course, as Gursimran was pointing out, it's of course still a matter of query. It's a matter of inquiry that we will have to understand. There is no official word yet. We do hope that there should be communication from the concerned authorities who have engaged in those talks with the Pakistani counterparts. But yes, remember, this happened just the day, around the Pahalgam terror attack, and we have been tracking the story very carefully. The fact that this is not something that happened. This is something that has happened earlier as well. That inadvertently, personnel could enter the territory of the other country. But the fact that it happened in such times when there were tensions between the two nations and they were only escalating by the day, there were concerns that Pakistan could just be using it to its, could be just, arm twisting. It could be misusing this opportunity, which Pakistan is very much capable of. And henceforth, there were many questions being raised why it was taking a lot of time. There were many meetings that were scheduled scheduled, and we only saw delays after delays. And yes, then later on we realized that yes, the negotiations are happening, and his wife was also called in, and there were talks that he will be returning back, and there were a lot of wait and watch that was happening on the Indian side, as what we can tell you. But yes, finally, I think Pakistan has also understood that it cannot try to have its own way here, and these are certain laws, these are certain certain ways, and that have to be respected, and that Pakistan realizes that it's not even in any space to do anything else. So yes, the BSF Jawan is right now back safely. We have to, of course, understand from him. The authorities will be inquiring from him, as Gursimran was telling us, that in what condition was he here, what was he there. That, of course, will be clearing many things out.
Yes. Absolutely, Rakshita. I'd like to go back to my colleague Gursimran, who's joining me from Jammu. Gursimran, the official handover has happened. Just walk us through the next steps, what we can expect now that the official handover has taken place. What is it that the Indian authorities are looking at in terms of the procedure?
See, the procedure that will be followed, that is what we are picking up from the Border Security Force, that there will be a medico-legal process that will be followed. That means a medical examination of the Jawan will be done, and it will be a detailed examination. Reason being that he has been out of the country for 22 days and he was in the custody of the Pakistani Rangers. So how he has been treated, what has been his body behavior, whether he has lost some weight, what has happened to him, his vitals parameters will also be checked, after which a detailed report will be made, and that will be sent to the headquarters of the Border Security Force. Post this, that will be shared also with the Ministry of Home Affairs, because that is part of the protocol. Now, second thing that will happen, that there will be a debriefing, that what he has gone through in all these 22 days, because this is very important in case when a soldier crossed over to the adversary side. This is part of a protocol. So a series of SOPs will be followed. Only then he will be able to join back. He is not immediately going to join back the duties. There will be a process that will take place at least more than a week's time. That is what we are getting to know from the Border Security Force, and then the further decision will be taken, that what lies next for him, that how he will be brought back to the active duties. Because first, the main thing is that since he was in the adversaries, he was abducted, or he was under the enemy's control. So it takes that mental pressure, everything that will be now catered by the Border Security Force, that first they will focus on his health, also his vital parameters, then the debriefing will be done, and after that any decision will be reached upon. But for now, what we can confirm from the officials in the Border Security Force Punjab frontier, that the Jawan Purnam Kumar Shaw has been brought back to the Indian territory, and this is the reason behind this, is the diplomatic and the military pressure that has been put. Because when the DGMOs spoke of both the countries, the BSF was also in touch with the counterparts, though there was a denial from the Pakistani side. But when it comes to the present situation, one thing is very clear, that India has prevailed over the Pakistan, and that's why this release has been seen.
Rajan Kochar on the phone line. General Kochar, well, this is, of course, good news for India, but finally it has taken a lot of days. It has taken days, more than 3 weeks now, that BSF Jawan was in Pakistan with the Pakistani authorities. He has now been handed over back. Sir, your first reaction?
Is that I think it's a very, very positive sign. It shows our strength also, that we have been able to negotiate his release from Pakistan. Possibly the delay has taken place due to this present conflict between India and Pakistan, and I'm given to understand that there were a couple of flag meetings between the BSF and the Pakistan Ranger authorities on the border itself, and we were trying to negotiate. At the same time, the diplomatic efforts were also on to get his release. So I am extremely happy that it has taken a long time, because normally on the border it doesn't take so much of time, because many a times our people also go astray and they also come inside, and normally in a couple of days it gets resolved. But this time it has taken a slightly longer time, and the reason is apparent, because we were involved in the conflict with Pakistan. And since the ceasefire has happened, I think this would be a positive sign to take ahead.
Yes, sir. So you do feel that there was Pakistani authorities and the Pakistani Rangers was trying to take advantage of the tensions and the tensions that were escalating, and henceforth it took such a long time, sir?
Yeah, possibly because you see in the normal course, even if you go back to the number of instances which happen like this, it doesn't take 22 days to return a person because it's beyond comprehension. Why you should keep anybody for 22 days? He was not, he was actually giving protection to the cattle because normally on the borders, when the cattle grazing is going on, one or two BSF Jawans are deputed to give protection to the cattle. So he was not in any way involved into transgressing into Pakistan territory. He was not part of a patrol. It was no offensive movement of his into Pakistan. So it is, it's not understandable that why will you keep a person for 22 days? 2-3 days you interrogate him, and after that you have your flag meeting and return that person to the Wagah border.
Yes.
But it has taken a long time. Possibly this conflict was the reason.
Right, Major General Kochhar, thank you so much for joining us on Republic TV. I'll go back to my colleague Gursimran. Gursimran, well, there are many questions and concerns about how long it has taken. But if you could just, for the benefit of viewers, help us understand the entire process that takes